And I love this BMW operating system, the latest one. It's just so smart. BMW doesn't have very sporty intentions for the 218 Sport Line. But what's not so great about this generation of BMWs is that gone are the days where sub 200,000 ringgit could have gotten you the keys to a brand new BMW. Since BMW Malaysia revised their price list in January 2024 due to inflation, their entry-level F74 218i Gran Coupe was priced from 239,000 with the final edition price at 244,000. With that in mind, that makes the F74 218 Gran Coupe's asking price of 240,000 ringgit somewhat palatable, considering that the nearest upgrade, the 3 Series 320i Sport LCI, is touching the 300,000 ringgit mark. But how does the baby Beamer feels and stacks up against its only rival, the A-Class sedan? Let's find out. My name's Adrian, I'm all about the details, and you're watching cDrive. Although priced similarly to the previous generation, the F74 218 arrives in the basic sport trim. But like for like, presentation-wise, I feel that it has a lot more flair compared to the A200 progressive line. From the sharp nose, the kidney grills, functional aero curtains, satin aluminium finish, as well as captivating tail lights and the 18-inch multi-spoke alloys, and most importantly, frameless doors. Because the platform is carried over from before, dimensions-wise it's largely identical. With a wheelbase of 2,670mm, it's only now 25mm longer and 20mm taller. But BMW says that they have further improved everything underneath the skin to create a much more composed driving experience. What's also identical is the 430 liters boot space, which you are able to conveniently fit in this carry-on bag and a check-in size suitcase. And underneath the false boot floor, there's extra room for you to place your shoes and whatnot. The 218 Gran Coupe has true keyless entry, so the keys in your pocket, approach the car and the doors will automatically unlock. And the right way to close a car with frameless door windows is not by pressing on the windows, but on the door here.
Dancing underneath the endless sky, all the colors they collide in a tapestry of moving light.
Hopping inside, the Merc is the one with the flashier interior with their disco light and ambient lighting. This here in the 218, it's a bit more vanilla. The dashboard now features a curved screen display, and the center stack here is angled towards the driver to create a driver-focused cockpit. And I love this air vents, the hidden air vents, which I think it's a very neat design, but because of the way it's angled towards the center stack, the passenger will have to rely their side of the blower. Having a curved display is an ergonomic genius because it makes tapping the responsive touchscreen a lot more natural. And I love this BMW operating system, the latest one. It's just so smart. So for example, when you access Apple CarPlay, the bottom here, the shortcut keys are maintained permanently, so it makes adjusting your climate control, going through the home screen and different settings a lot more convenient. And when you have your navigations on, whether it's in Waze or Google Maps, the turn-by-turn navigation is projected over to the instrument cluster, which I think that's quite a neat feature too. And to cycle through the different information, you can see over to the right side of the steering wheel buttons, this is primarily the infotainment controls. But if you press the setting buttons here, you're able to cycle through the different driving information as well as switching to the different layouts. One feature that I love in modern BMWs is their dynamic tire pressure monitoring system. Now, what I mean by dynamic is that it will increase the recommended tire pressure according to the car's tires' current temperatures. So let's say you've been driving for a bit, it will raise the recommended tire pressure to compensate for heat expansion and vice versa. I think this is very clever. But what's not so great about this generation of BMWs is that if you want to switch between the different drive modes, let's say you press My Modes, it does not automatically cycle through the different driving modes. Instead, it just opens up this screen and then you have to again do a two-step operation. So open up the screen and then tap your desired settings. Come on, it's a BMW. It shouldn't be that complicated. The side door bins, you're able to squeeze a large size water bottle here, and the center armrest here is actually quite shallow, so you're able to put a little bit of your loose items. That's about it.
Over to the passenger side, the seat is quite comfortable and I can adjust the height. Because the center screen is angled towards the driver, it's a bit difficult for me to see what's on the screen. To open the glove box is a hidden button, and the main storage spaces are at the center console. Charging all your devices, there is a wireless charging tray, 2 Type-C ports, or you can run 2 Type-C cables from the rear. Vanity mirror is tiny but it has soft LED lights.
I have the front seat adjusted to my usual driving position. I'm 175 cm tall. I have about 2 tennis balls worth of knee room. Celine will have 3 tennis balls worth. Now, because there's a center hump here, it's quite a tall center hump, so the rear seats are actually best for 2 adults. And you'll notice that I'm seated a little bit upright and my head is barely touching the roof back here. And there are also no grab handles for you when your driver is driving very enthusiastically. Now, what I like is that the ambient lighting, you have one here and over to the door handles. If they have it on the speaker covers, yeah, that will be perfect. Overall, I think this here, the back seats are quite okay for short trips. And parents can safely secure their kids over to the 2 rear outer seats of the rear bench, as well as the front passenger seat with ISOFIX mounting points.
Times and places are all in who you share them with.
BMW has perfected the B38 engine and 7-speed dual-clutch transmission over the years. It is one of the smoothest 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine on the market right now. And even if you're just crawling in traffic, the transmission is eager to engage and there's no slippages or jerkiness, especially at the low speed stuff. And it's always in the right gears for you to make a very brisk overtakes. Being the baby Beamer, this size is just very much better suited for everyday traffic, for this kind of tight roads, tight spaces, city traffic, city driving. You just know exactly where to place the 2 Series compared to a 3 Series, which is honestly, compared driving in back to back, it feels much larger compared to this. And when you come into tight spaces or dead-end roads like this, oh no, what you're gonna do? In the 218, there's the reversing assistant, which will automatically pull backwards to the last 50 meters, exactly how you come in, and it'll get out exactly how you came in. Wonderful. The non-M Sport standard suspension sorts out undulations as well as rebounds very well, exactly how I expect from a Beamer to be. It's well behaved, composed, confident, and no unnecessary movements. Although power is up to 150 horsepower, 230 Nm of torque, the previous generation 218i felt a tad bit quicker. That's because the new car is a touch heavier and the powertrain is calibrated to be more economical to meet this kind of fuel and emissions regulations. But nevertheless, it maintains a smooth, relaxed composure during acceleration. Sport mode sharpens the throttle response by a fair bit. However, because this tiny gear lever here does not come with a sport mode or manual mode for you to select your own gears, only an L mode which locks the transmission at a lower gear for longer, so you get maximum performance out of the engine. And the lack of pedal shifters, suggests that BMW doesn't have very sporty intentions for the 218 Spotlight. But the 218 chassis is more than capable of handling much more power, much higher speeds. In fact, cruising at these kind of high speeds, high long distance journeys, this is where the 218 feels like it's fish in water. It loves doing this kind of long distance, high speed runs. You just feel so relaxed, confident, at peace. when the 218 is just gunning down the highway like this. Yeah, effortless. My only gripe with the car is that at high speeds, it's very loud in here, mainly coming from the undercarriage and tire roar. I'm registering almost 70 decibels at 110 kilometers per hour. I believe swapping over to a set of quieter tires would solve the problem. BMW Malaysia sold over 4,500 units of the F74 218i, commenting that it exceeded their expectations. I think the 2 Series fits those who are looking for a stylish, premium yet compact sedan. Those who see no need for top-dog performance, the 218, I feel, it's an easier car to live with every day in the city compared to the 3 Series. Its loudish exterior screams the right notes whenever you roll up. If only BMW could further jazz up the interior, this will be an easy win on showroom floors. So the next time you're out comparing compact premium sedans in the sub 250,000 ringgit price point, make sure you remember all the intricate details of the BMW 218 Gran Coupe from my video and see how those cars stacks up against this stylish baby beamer. My name is Adrian, thanks for watching cDrive, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more detailed videos like this. Bye bye.